Here's turn 7. Most critical part of this corner is to roll the best amount of speed possible since there's no straightaway after it. And then turn 8, really critical to get a good exit because of the long straightaway. Looks like good power down there. And just kind of let the car track out, minimize the friction in the front of the car. And that's a lap of Autobahn North track, about a 1:11.8.
And we'd like to welcome you back to race number 2 of the day this afternoon for our doubleheader and the finale of our doubleheader with the Spec Miata race and the Spec Miata 2 racing this afternoon. So, like we had in race 1, Shelton, welcome us back to the booth and ready for race number 2. We already saw great racing in the first half of the day so far, and we are looking for really good racing later this afternoon, I would say, in the second half. What could we expect after the first one?
Well, with the time being passing and the weather getting warmer, hopefully we could see a lot closer racing, and hopefully a lot of you guys don't have to tiptoe around 6, 7 anymore due to the weather, and hopefully the track drying up.
Indeed, that we've also had a lot of other cars on track as well to kind of rubber in the track a little bit more, get a little bit more of a groove going out there, but also dissipating some of those areas that we thought were going to be pretty slick for the second race. All right, well, we go ahead with the first pace lap complete. We are down in the field getting the 1 to go signal, which means we're going to be going green this time by. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and run through the starting order of what's going to be for this second race of the day. Pole position is going to go to the number 60 of Taro Kishida. He took that when the field being also drawn up based off the fastest lap from the first race. So Taro Kishida had the fastest lap from race number 1. He's going to start on the pole position alongside John Jodwayne is starting in the second spot, the winner from the first race of the day. Matt Alexander, who came up in the back to the front to finish third in the race, is going to start P3 right where he finished off. Same with Jake Malter. He's going to start off P4 and then number 69, Martini Spec Miata. Row number 3, he's going to have Greg Sorg in the 71 starting in the 5th spot alongside Alex Bertagnoli in the number 6 spot in that number 4 car. Billy Benny's going to line up in the 7th position alongside Ethan Tyler, going to be in his 8th spot in that 08. Position number 9 is going to be the number 12 of Luke Satterfield alongside the number 51 of Gavin Gleitzman. He will round out the top 10. Scott Ballard's going to run 90. He's going to roll off 11th with Mike Ryan, who was the pole sitter in race number 1, falling back all the way to 12th with the 12th fastest lap from the first race. He will start on the outside of row 6. Art Zeismer is going to line up in 13th in the number 15 car alongside Kevin Davis in the number 44 in 14th position. Dave Hicks in the number 25 will roll off 15th alongside Matteo Azzari in the 16th spot. Scott Bowman's going to roll off 26th. Tom Bagley in the 18th spot in that number 3 car. And then Mike Bernardi will round out the field in the 19th position. 19 cars going to take the grid here. Field now doubled up 2 by 2 as they come out of turn number 8 and 9. The rest of the field now slowly but surely catching up to the rest of the grid. As the field also makes their way out around turn number 9 to get the green, we also like to mention that no Kevin Davis or Scott Bowman to take the start. As green flag flies, we're off and racing. Couple cars getting a little stacked up further back of the field. Looks like Alex Bertagnoli missed the shift a little bit, getting a push from Gavin Gleitzman going into turn 1, 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Going into the first turn 1 and turn 2, Greg Sorg looked like he's going to roll that inside lane on the number 69 of Jake Malter. Going to make it through turn 1 and 2 cleanly, and now it's going to be Taro Kishida who leads the field with Matt Alexander and John Jodwayne going side by side. Jodwayne going to squeak ahead. He'll go to the second spot now, and it's still actually side by side between John Jodwayne and Matt
Shelby
Alexander.
Club participants, this is a 5-minute call for Group 4.
Now Jodwayne
5-minute call for Group 4.
One car kind of going off of the track a little bit. That looks like it was the 10 of Matteo Azzari on the exit of turn number 5. He was able to collect it and gather it back up. Falls now back in line right behind Mike Ryan. The rest of the field stringing out single file, trying to find real estate on the racetrack and trying to find their groove a little bit. Looks like 3 wide a little bit further back. Scott Ballard trying to hold the outside of Gavin Gleitzman. Gleitzman shuts the door. Ballard falls back in the line. Malter now all over the back of John Jodawayne. He's going to hold tight in formation there. Bring up Ethan Tyler as well. 4-car train for the second spot right there as Taro Kashida starts to pull away from the rest of the field as they come to the line to complete lap number 1.
Now, good job from everybody, keeping it clean on the first lap, and no incidents, no spin outs, no one's going off track. So that's good. Good start to a race too.
First side-by-side battle was further back. That looked like it was potentially for the 13th spot between Mike Bernardi and the 120 of Mike Ryan, race 1 pole sitter in that sense. He's trying to find his way back up to the front, trying to find some of that speed that he had in the qualifying session earlier this morning. Back half of the field kind of starting to string itself out a little bit, and further up front, it's a lot more tighter and compact. So we're starting to see now John Jodawayne trying to get to the back bumper of Matt Alexander and try to push him up towards the front a little bit. Scott Ballard now going to flare a nose to the inside of Luke Satterfield. He gets a better run. Satterfield kind of made a little bit of mistake, sliding the rear through the middle of the corners. And we got one car that actually spun off in turn number 6. That looks to be the number 3 of Tom Bagley. He's not having a good day today as Tom Bagley now able to kind of find reverse himself back onto the racetrack, get himself going. Tom Bagley had that window net problem in the first race earlier this morning. So the day kind of gone from bad to worse for Tom Bagley a little bit. He's going to want to forget today's actions.
Yeah, right now he's going to wish for a caution just to bring him back in this race.
A caution early on in this race would be big and helpful for Tom Bagley to get him back into the fight. As we see the first side-by-side battle going into 1 there is Mike Bernardi going to the outside of Matteo Azzari. Bernardi had the inside line through turn number 1, then shifts over to the outside line for turn number 2. Bernardi, though, getting the drive that he needs through turn number 2, heading into 3. They're still going to go side-by-side, but give the advantage to Bernardi and give the spot now to Bernardi as they go through turn number 4. One car now it's off. That's also Gavin Gleitzman. He goes off track again, goes through a bunch of dirt and mud there. He's trying to keep the car fired potentially. Hopefully he doesn't get stuck. The rear tires are spinning on that thing, but he's trying to get going. But with all the water and the rain that we had here yesterday and everything, he might run out of luck there. He's given the position he might be in. He's in the swampland, it looks like.
Yeah, he's still sitting there. I think he's trying to get it moving. He's creeping. Looks like he's creeping out just a little bit. He might be able to get it out, but full course yellow. Full course yellow.
We're going to go full course yellow here to go retrieve the number 51 of Gavin Gleitzman. We also have another car off in turn number 6 as well, right next to the tire barriers in turn number 6, just out the exit there. That looks to be the number 77 of Billy Benning, potentially right up against the tire wall there.
Now, Jordan, do you think the tires are just not getting up to temperature yet, or is it just the track and just it's still damp out there?
I think it's also a lot with the track being very green still. You know, the track is still, a whole day's worth of rain washes all the rubber away, and the track just doesn't have the grip that we're looking for. And you almost have to treat this like a street circuit almost, where you can't go off track at all. Otherwise, if you go off track, you're you're in a wall in a sense. And case in point, what happened with Gavin Gleitzman here, you go off track a little bit, you're not able to get yourself back onto the track. Same thing with Billy Benning too. You go off track a little bit, it's going to be very tough to stop the car with all the grass and water that's in the grass. The car is not going to actually want to stop. Inside the car, it's going to feel like you're still carrying speed and you're not slowing down. You actually feel like you're picking up speed, but realistically, you're not. You're just not able to slow down because there's just no grip out there. And with the water and everything that's happening out there, you end up actually going to the wall and going off the track a lot further than you want to expect. So with that in mind, we've been able to complete 2 laps on the board before we get our first yellow flag of the afternoon. Again, it was for the 51 of Gavin Gleitzman in the Food and Fuel Mazda Spec Miata. On the incident of turn number 6, and the number 77 of Billy Benning bikes to the tire wall over in a turn number 6 off the exit there. So safety team is going to go out there, retrieve those 2 cars, try to get them moving as quickly as possible, and hopefully we can get back to green here shortly.
So the one person that definitely took advantage of this caution is Tom Bagley. Like I said before, he was going to hope for a caution to come out, and not even a lap later it comes out. So he's able to recover back to the tail end of the field, but now he has a lot of work to do to get back up through the positions.
Well, the hard part's actually done now, and that's hoping for a yellow and getting a yellow. That's the hard part. So the field now, as we see on our screen, is going through turn number 6, and on the back straightaway, you can see Tom Bagley further back in their screen there, going through turn number 4 and now turn number 5 to catch up to the rest of the field. Everybody now just kind of trying to weave back and forth, clean up their tires as much as they can, and try to keep the heat that they had left in them all the way. I feel like Shelton, however, just the way we're looking at this yellow, this could potentially be a little bit of a lengthy yellow because we got to try to get 2 cars out of the track as well. So we potentially could be looking at maybe 5 laps under yellow here, maybe I would say, given how short the North Circuit is potentially. So we'll see. I mean, that's going to be at least half the race here today that we could potentially be seeing under yellow.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate that we have to get a caution very early on into the race, and a lengthy, maybe a lengthy caution as well. Yeah.
The biggest thing that we're seeing right now is looking over in the paddock and everything. You see all those cars there in that paddock space, and all the fans that were lined up earlier along the north side of the racetrack here to watch this race. Lots of spectators and lots of activity that's happening here out at the Autobahn today. So if you haven't been able to attend one of our races out here, you probably should be able to. It's really a good racing series that we have out here, and really good attendance as well. Lots of fans and spectators that have been out here to cheer on our drivers and support them here today. So we've been able to see a really good attendance and a really good showing out of the crowd here today.
Now, as we're approaching 10 laps to go, and it seems like it's going to be a lengthy caution. Well, as a driver, do you bother putting heat into your tires, or do you just save and preserve the tires as much as you can until you see the incidents being cleared up, and then you start warming up the tires? Or what would you do in this situation?
It's kind of a catch-22 because you want to keep the heat in the tires all the way through, but you don't want to be wasting any effort in your body, but you also don't want to be wasting the tires. Like you said, you want to preserve those tires as much as you can. So in the sense of this, I would probably try to cool my tires down a little bit, get a little bit of a heat cycle in them. And now that once we kind of get things going and we see that we're going to be going back to green here shortly, then that's when you would want to start putting some heat back into the tires as well. And that's when you would want to start getting yourself all warmed up, especially when you get a heat cycle going. That'll be good as well, because then you get to kind of get that new grip and the new tire activated as well with the new heat cycle that's going through it. Gavin Gleitzman back on the racetrack now. This all the safety team pushing them back onto the racetrack. So the Gavin Gleitzman back underway and going. We're now working just under 10 laps to go, like Shelton mentioned before, with safety team now working its way over to go retrieve the number 77 of Billy Benning over in turn number 6 at the exit there. We also want to take the time now to also thank all of our members for being on hand here today as we celebrate the 20th year anniversary of Autobahn Country Club, and having Autobahn Country Club is open. We're celebrating its 20th year anniversary of operation here at the Autobahn Country Club. So we'd like to thank all of our members, and especially the founding members who have donated their time and donated their efforts to make this place possible, make this place the way it is today, and allowing us to be able to do what we want to do today. And that's just the love for motorsports, the love for cars, and the love for racing. We'll also thank our sponsors, Cutting Edge Graphics and First Bank Card Processing, to allow us their continued support in our Spec Miata Racing Series and Autobahn Member Racing Series. If it wasn't for their support, we would not be able to continue on this series here today. We'll also make the opportunity to talk about the Autobahn Driver Academy as well, as we talked about before. The Autobahn Driver Academy has also brought in, racers like myself, Britt Casey Jr. We've also brought in racers like Christian Weir and even Gavin Gleitzman here today. With all the people from the Autobahn Driver Academy, we've been able to groom racers from a novice perspective all the way up until the professional ranks of rotor racing, whether it's going through our Spec Miata series or even test driving our new Toyota GR86s. The Autobahn Driver Academy is there for private coaching and also renting of motorized vehicles, and our programs as well as Autobahn Sprints, performance drives, and advanced performance drives. So if you haven't been able to notice already, go to AutobahnCountryClubCC.com, go to Autobahn Sprint or performance drive, and look for yourself to get on track with us here today, and then we can talk about Autobahn advanced performance drives as well. But that's not the part with the Autobahn Driver Academy. So go to AutobahnCC.com for more information about the Autobahn Driver Academy, and we will finally have you talk to one of our instructors to find out how to get on track here today. Safety team now also attending to belly bending over in turn number 6. A great shot of the fans there over in turn number 1 here, getting a great trackside view of the action that we're about to see here later the rest of this afternoon as the field continues to work its way under the yellow flag. Now we're like in lap 3 or 4 under the safety car right now, with about 8 laps to go in the race, hopefully getting back underway here with just about 1 or 2 laps remaining under yellow.
Now this is the time where the drivers should start warming up their tires and getting ready to go back racing, because it's definitely going to be an interesting one with maybe 6 to 5 laps left. So Jordan, with 6 to 5 laps left, you have way more fuel than what you originally imagined to have. So does that play a process into how the race is going to pan out too?
I mean, it plays a little bit of a process, knowing that now you have, a lot more excess fuel than you normally were planning on having. You're not burning up as much fuel as you once thought you were going to be doing, so you have a lot more fuel extra to kind of play with. So you're going to have a little bit different weight distribution, a little bit more added weight to the car that you're going to have for the rest of this race. So, yeah, I mean, it plays a little bit more into the strategy aspect of it all, but, it's still everyone's kind of in the same boat as well in this case. So, in that sense, you're still going to be driving the exact same way you would normally drive if that was the case. Halfway flags are being displayed here, and hopefully we're about 1 lap away, from going back to green here. One more thing we'll talk about as well is part of the Autobahn Performance Fleet. Some of our members have already been able to experience our touring session that we had, a jam-packed touring session here today, almost a line that was going around the entire North Track itself, too. So we almost had a whole continuous conveyor belt line of cars going around this whole place. But nonetheless, we'd like to thank our manufacturers and supporters of our Autobahn Performance League. First off, we'll start by talking about the Lexus LC500 pace car that's pacing this field around. It's getting plenty of camera time here today, as the Autobahn official pace car of the Autobahn Member Racing Series. But we'd also like to take a shout out to our other manufacturers, known as BMW, Cadillac, Chevy, and Lexus, as well as Porsche and Mustang out there as well, Ford. Field is now making its way around turn number 5 and 6 down the back straightaway. Belly bending has been released and let go, so we are now clearing up the scene. Field is now given potentially the one to go signal next time by when they come across the line here. So we are 1 lap away potentially from going back to green. Field is now starting to see warming up their tires. We'll go through a quick full field rundown here after the first couple laps here. Taro Kushida now continues to lead. Matt Alexander runs in second. John Jodawane in third. Jake Malter in fourth. Ethan Tyler is in fifth. Alex Bertignoli sixth. Scott Ballard has moved up to the 7th spot. Mike Bernardi, who's actually, I believe, started from the back of the pack, has moved up to the 8th spot in that sense. 9th right now is Luke Satterfield in the 12th. 10th is Matteo Azzari in the number 10. 11th is Mike Ryan. 12th is Dave Hicks, 13th Art Zeismer, 14th Greg Sorg, and 15th, caught up to the back half of the field, is Tom Bagley, with Gavin Gleitzman sitting in 15th and 16th, 5 laps down, and Billy Benning 17th, 6 laps down. And one thing I'll also point out, too, Mike Bernardi started from basically the 17th spot, shotgun on the whole field, already made his way up to the 8th spot here. So Mike Bernardi has made up the most positions so far at the start of this race. 6 laps to go as of now, so when they come and get the green, we're going to have ourselves a 5-lap dash to finish off this race. So just like we kind of saw a little bit here, Shelton, in the SM2 race where it was a green-white checkered, we're now going to have a 5-lap shootout between all of our Spec Miata guys here. And these are our Spec Miata guys. So the top Spec Miata drivers that we have to offer here. And we're going to see a lot of good moves and a lot of great racing with these 5 laps to go.
Oh, you are exactly right, Jordan. Like, anybody can win this race between Taro Kashida, Matt Alexander, and John Joe Deweyne, and even Jake Malter might even come in and take it. So it's a free for all at this point.
I'd basically throw anybody in the top 6 potentially under a blanket there, as they potentially will be nose to tail all the way through. You can even throw a name like Scott Ballard in the mix. Mike Bernardi, he's come his way through the field. Luke Satterfield, Matteo Azzari, they have great SCCA racing experience as well, so I would not count them out just yet. Pace car is pulled on into pit road. The field is now in the hands of Taro Kashida. He rolls around turn 8 and 9, looking to potentially fire off the zone to go green. He starts moving, and the green flag potentially going to come back out here. It does. We are back racing. Kashida gets a great jump. Alexander, though, gets a push from John Joe Deweyne, and he's going to battle against Taro Kashida as they go into 1. But look at Mike Bernardi going to the inside, potentially, of Alex Bertignoli. He keeps it clean. Now he goes back to the inside, goes defensive going into turn number 2. Holds the inside line. Everybody else making their way clean and green so far. Zeismer looking to the outside of Dave Hicks. Greg Sorer does the cutback, goes back to the inside of Art Zeismer. They're going to go side by side through turn number 3. Give Greg Sorer potentially that spot, although Art is hanging tough on the inside right now. They'll still go side by side through turns 4 and into 5, but we got a battle for lead up front here. Matt Alexander going to go to the inside. He'll challenge Taro Kashida into turn number 6, and they'll hold it side by side there. Give him plenty of racing room on the exit, but give the lead to Matt Alexander. He will go to the front, and I'll tell you what, in terms of race 1, you would think Matt Alexander was going quite a bit off-roading in that car. As you look on the left side, he's got basically a different paint scheme on the side of that car with all that mud that he's got on the side of it, but nonetheless, Matt Alexander proving a point here. He goes right to the lead. Side-by-side battle for second between John Joe Deweyne and Taro Kashida. John Joe Deweyne gives Kashida a pretty big, hefty bump there going through the middle of 8 and 9, but he's going to get the run here. Now it's Alexander pulls away. It's a 4-car train between Kashida, Joe Deweyne, Malter, and Ethan Tyler going into 1.
Yeah, Taro Kashida, he messed up, so he's trying to get as much help as he can to get back into Matt Alexander's rearview mirror and to fight him for that lead once again.
Malter now going to give a shove from Ethan Tyler, and you got Alex Bertignoli hanging behind them, but you also got the number 8 of Mike Bernardi hanging behind them as well. He's kind of falling back off just a little bit there. He's in the clutches of Scott Ballard right now, but all these guys right now are still fighting, just trying to get each other pushes to where they can get back up to each other. Still single file now between the top 6, potentially going to go side by side for turn number 6 for the 7th and 8th position. But right now, Matt Alexander trying to, as best he can, to pull away. Everyone kind of kicking up some mud and some dirt there at the exit of turn number 6, but everyone kind of holding steady, single file coming through 6 into 7. Field now kind of line themselves up. You can see both John Joe Deweyne and Ethan Tyler getting ready to push both Malter and Taro Kashida. They were kind of backing up the corners a little bit there, trying to focus on the exits so that way they could get to the back bumper and try to push them down the straightaways. Malter, though, however, able to kind of gap Ethan Tyler a little bit. Same thing with Taro Kashida a little bit. Joe Deweyne opens up the corner a little, trying to get a little bit of a drive through the middle of the corner to get to the back bumper of Taro Kashida, but it's not going to work. Kashida now able to try to pull away and try to go after Matt Alexander. So we're kind of all settled in here, Shelton. Like, here's the biggest thing now. We got to try to figure out where are we going to be able to make their moves here. If you're Matt Alexander, you're obviously trying to drive away from the case. If you're Taro Kashida, you're obviously trying to go get Matt Alexander. But what if you're looking at John Joe Deweyne, Jake Malter, and Ethan Tyler? A little bit 3rd, 4th, 5th, or even Alex Bertignoli in the 6th spot. You're not in the contention for the battle right now, but you got to put yourself in contention as one car spins out to the inside, and that's Luke Satterfield in the number 12. Satterfield goes for a spin just at the exit of turn number 6 there. I believe there's one car that potentially might be limping with damage a little bit on the inside now. I don't know who that could be. I think it might have been the 120 of Mike Ryan there as he's going through turn number 7. Once again, one more car that's kind of just spun off a little bit. Satterfield able to get it going as the battle for the lead now rages on into past the start-finish line. Again, it's Alexander, Kashida, Joe Deweyne as they head off to the turn number 1. Kashida right now just trying as best he can to hold on to the back bumper of Alexander. Crossover move from Joe Deweyne as they go through turn number 1 and 2, but he holds on to the back end of Taro Kashida and trying to just give him a shot up to the back bumper of Matt Alexander. do turns 3 and 4. Lockstep formation through the top 3. You can add Jake Malter to that list as well, going through turn number 5 and has come up to turn number 6. Kushida takes a peek to the inside, maybe thinking to pass Matt Alexander here. He shows the nose, but he thinks better of it, falls back in line. It also is John Joe and Jake Malter as they run in line. Now, as you see, is Kushida go a little defensive on Joe Dwayne. Kushida probably didn't get off the corner exit of turn number 6 as well as he might have liked to. And that's why he went defensive into the corner there, just to kind of hold the position over John Joe Dwayne. Joe Dwayne now all over the back of Kushida. He's going to try to give him a shove down the front straightaway here. He's going to need to get him a good shot here to the front as the white flag is now being displayed. We are on 1 lap to go here, going down the front main straightaway. Kushida really going to need to get a shot here if they want to get back up to Matt Alexander if he wants a shot at this win. Malter and Joe Dwayne trying to find everything they can to get on by these guys. Same thing with Ethan Tyler. He's just kind of hanging on to the back end of this pack. Two cars that also came in the pit road. We talked about Luke Satterfield in that incident. He came in the pit road, so he's retiring from the race early. Same thing with the 120 of Mike Ryan. He was involved in that incident as well. He comes into the pits. As we go down the back straightaway, Matt Alexander holding the race lead. Kushida really gained the ground back up on Matt Alexander, but had to go defensive just to kind of keep John Joe Dwayne behind him at bay. As they come down through turn number 6 and into 7. Little defensive line early. Now slips over. Now Joe Dwayne going to pop to the inside. He's going to go to the inside of Kushida. He's going to make the move stick. Kushida going to be relegated back to 3rd. Joe Dwayne going to promote himself up to 2nd as they go to turn number 7 for the final time. But on the main straightaway, he's been kind of waiting in the balance all day. He started in 13th of race 1, battled his way up to P3, starts the race from P3. Now it comes home as a winner. Matt Alexander comes across the line to win the second race of the day in the Spec Miata series. John Joe Dwayne comes home in 2nd. Taro Kushida rounds out the podium in P3 for race number 2. Top 3 in the championship once again find themselves in the top 3 in the positions as they come across the line, Shelton.
Yeah, it's only race 3, right? Race 3 of the season. Race 5 of the season, I'm sorry. And it's already showing to be Matt Alexander, John Joe Dwayne, and a Taro Kushida show, apparently. So hopefully they can keep this battle all the way to the end of this year, which most likely it seems like it's going to happen.
John Joe Dwayne captured his 2nd win of the season in the first race of the day. Now Matt Alexander captures his 2nd win of the season in our race 2. So Matt Alexander comes away with the win. John Joe Dwayne finishes in 2nd. Taro Kushida in 3rd. Top 3 in the championship, all in confining order, top 3 on the podium. Jake Malter comes home in the runner-up position. He'll come home with the 4th place finish. Second best finish on the year, given that he's always also finished 2nd twice today and has 2 third-place finishes on the year. Ethan Tyler going to come home in 4th, his 2nd best finish of the year. Alex Bertinelli going to come home in the 6th spot. Mike Bernardi going to come home in the 7th. Scott Bauer finishes in 8th. Matteo Azari 9th. Art Zeismer will round out the top 10. Dave Hicks will come home in 11th. Tom Bagley, who had that early mishap, will finish in 12th. Greg Sorg, who had an incident, I guess, a little bit later, in 13th. Luke Satterfield, Mike Ryan, both had their incidents, finishes at 14th and 15th. And Gavin Gleitzman, Billy Benning, who had the incidents before early on in the race, will finish 16th and 17th, respectively. Again, we'll have attention in the paddock. If you're we want to make a 5-minute call to grid for Shelby Group 1 over on the South Track. 5-minute call to grid for Shelby Group 1 over on the South Track. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a step away for a brief minute as we get ready for the Spec Miata race number 2 coming up here in just a moment.
We're here at the acclaimed Daytona International Speedway to show the Blazer EVSS in a way it's never been seen. It's beautiful with a sleek and dynamic design, but performance is in our DNA. And what better way to put the Blazer EVSS to the paces than having Team Chevy NASCAR drivers Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain get behind the wheel.
She looks fast.
Sure does.
You want to see what she's got?
Let's go.
All right. Yoo-hoo!
This is a Blazer EVSS. Let's see what Wild Mode can do.
Let's go.
This is what performance sounds like.
What a ride. You think the Cup car will be that smooth? My turn to drive.
From 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Experience the sound of performance.
Yeah, I was definitely faster than Daniel.
Welcome to Kart Circuit Autobahn, home of the best arrive and drive karting in the Chicagoland area. This is our brand new fleet of CRG Centurion rental karts that go 50 miles an hour. They're fast, fun, and safe. They are also built for the driver that has the need for speed. Come on out and show us what you got.
At Lexus, our motto is you have to feel it to believe it. Experience the exhilaration of the Lexus Performance line.
Define nature. It's what defines the all-new 2024 Corvette E-Ray. The quickest Corvette ever, with 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. An electrified all-wheel drive that handles all 4 seasons. A supercar of contrasts. It's everything you never expected. One like none.
That I can't sleep tonight. My
Live coverage of today's Autobahn member racing action is brought to you by our friends over at Signature Signage Production. Without the production group, without Signature's production group, none of this would have been possible with the advertising of our live streaming service. Signature's production group has done a fantastic job helping us get off our live stream, our VMix, air cameras, and all the partners with the audio to get this coverage and this program to your home on YouTube. So without our friends over at Signature Production Group, we'd like to thank them for all their thank you and continuous support in the Autobahn Members Racing Series live stream and production. We'd also like to thank Cutting Edge Graphics and First Bank Card Processing for the sponsorship of both our Spec Miata series and our SM2 field. First Bank Card and Cutting Edge Graphics, we'd like to thank them for their continued support of the Spec Miata Autobahn Member Racing Series. We'd also like to thank some of our sponsors there on the billboards as well, and there's still some billboards potentially left to go and some billboard space to happen, just like our new one. We want you to check out our Maximum Insurance billboards located at the South Turn 1 entrance or exit. Watch for a new sign that's coming up soon from BMW Shuresville and the South Shore Jaguar Land Rover, which we could say you can call me Queen Bee over there on the side. There is still 2 spots open, and if you'd like to promote it with your business and everything at the Midwest Premier Motorsports Club, please call Ron Davish, our sales department in that sense. But got more spacing over there. We'd also like to thank our partners over at the Old Second Bank. Watch all today's racing action from our Old Second Bank South Deck. We'd like to thank Old Second for providing a cool, comfortable place to cheer on all of our member races and giving you such an awesome view of the South Track and the video of the whole track itself. Also, nothing beats watching live racing from the Old Second Bank deck. But just in case you want to watch it from what's going on behind the trees, check out the new broadcast and timing screens on the Old Second Bank deck. You're able to watch the live stream just from there and then watch all the racing action that's happening on the North Track as well. It's a very good view. If you want to watch it from the far, you can see the cars coming past going into turn number 1, and then you can also watch it live stream and see what's happening on the backside from the TV monitors as well as the live timing. Also, if you want to watch the live stream as well, go on into the clubhouse. Member Racing Series has also been live streamed off from the clubhouse for all of our members to be able to watch and see. Clubhouse is also writing it from the VMix walls that we have of 4 TVs combined into one. Yeah, it's a very good, comfortable place. Plus, you can also enjoy beverages and food there for watching our member racing series going on there. We'd also like to thank Ron Terrapelli Ford for sponsoring our defensive driving and skid vehicles. Sign up your new driver today, or your teen driver as well, for our defensive driving safety course and training. Dates and details are also listed on AutobahnCC.com. While gazing longingly over our 2 beautiful Performance Fleet Corvettes, make sure you also check out the Tahoe Z71 and the 6.2-liter V8 motor and our off-roading package. John from Chevrolet is on hand normally around here on our festival weekends. If you ever want to talk to him about our Chevy vehicles, please contact him as well. Also, you can't miss the Gallagher Asphalt South Starter Stand as well. We like to thank Gallagher Asphalts for making our track surface as smooth and safe as possible. They also have done some grinding on our South Track as well. Mainly for our bikes, they've been really appreciative when our bike riders go on track. They've liked the new upgraded track surface that we've been able to do and the grinding that we've been able to do on our South Track. But also it provides a much smoother and safer feel over on the South Track. We've been able to take away the bump over in South 1 as well as some of the bumps over in North 2 and North 1 as well. So we'd like to thank Gallagher Asphalt for helping us make our track surface smooth and slick. Also, special thanks to Bell Helicopters and Flights for the sponsorship of Bell Helicopters. We also now have our landing zone over by the front gate. As soon as you come in through the front gate, stick your heads to the left. There's 2 helipads. Thank you to our sponsors over at Bell Helicopters for providing us all those helipads, as well as being able to be serviced to and from the racetrack. Bell Helicopter is a proud sponsor of the Autobahn Country Club. We are still just a few minutes out there. It's a great shot looking over at the clubhouse and the busy Autobahn paddock that we've had here on hand here today. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Clouds, guys. We have clouds up in the skies, partly cloudy, I would say. And we also have really sunny skies here, giving us picturesque view of the Autobahn facility today. You can see our performance fleet vehicles all sitting there nicely, all freshened up and clean, ready for service, as well as all of our members walking to and from the Autobahn member clubhouse, and how packed the grid looks as well. So we've had a very action-packed members as well. Also, if you look off in the distance, you can look over to our right. We see the car track. And the car track is very busy here this afternoon as well. But lots of go-karters are over there. Here is CKNA. As we have Cup Karts North America is on tap here this weekend here at the Autobahn Country Club, or Kart Circuit Autobahn, doing their weekend's worth of racing. If you want to watch some more racing as well, head on over down to the car track. Watch some young kids and some real good racing that's happening over there as well. The paddock is very booked and is very busy over there, so keep that in mind when you head on over to the paddock.
Those are going to be our future race car drivers, right?
Oh, yes, they are. Very future race car drivers indeed, that are going to be potentially either on some of the big tracks that we see, or potentially even here at the Autobahn Country Club here later on in years to come. We're just about maybe 2 minutes away from the SM2 race getting started. We're taking a flyover of the paddock of the Shelby group that is here this weekend, that's taking advantage of our South Track. You can also see some of the RVs and campers there off in the distance in our lawns. Those are some of the campers and RVs of the CKNA car track that you're seeing here on tap here today. So a lot of action, as you can see, from all different angles around the country club are happening here today. Very busy day here on this picturesque Sunday afternoon. Field now continuing to roll their way to the grid here for this afternoon. Sheldon, we've already now 3 races down, 1 more race to go. We've already know what we expect from the first race, and we've seen a lot of action that's happened. And, you know, the main common thread of today has been keep the car on the black stuff, as we mentioned in the drivers' meeting today. And we think by now everybody would kind of be able to know what's happening there in that sense. But I think, you know, now that we kind of get more comfortable and everyone's kind of seeing the track surface, we're getting kind of more and more to that actual ideal condition of dry running. You know, what can we expect in this last race in the SM2 field?
Now, the SM2 field has a very an advantage between the past races. The rubber has already been laid out. The track is still drying out, but it's better conditions than it was a couple hours ago. So these guys will be pushing to the absolute limit to keep it on track and to make the best positions that they can during this race, because this is the last race of the day, so might as well make a good one, right?
3 races have been down. We have 1 more race to go, and it is the final race of the day, our second race of the Spec Miata 2 racing series that we have here going on at the Autobahn today. Really good shot there of the car track. They're also running the interesting thing, our skid pad as well, which is an added configuration to our already purpose-built car track. The skid pad is normally used for our defensive driving programs, as well as some of our driving programs in terms of autocross driving lessons, as well as our defensive driving programs with braking, skid car, and lane change drill. Is also turned into a go-kart track for today. So you can see all the different rubber lines, all the different barriers that are out there. And when this track is turned into the full configuration, it is around an 0.8 of a mile go-kart track, which now basically turns into a 1 minute or 58-second lap time in our Briggs 206 go-karts that we're experiencing here today. So one of the bigger go-kart tracks that you can see out there as well, but also one of the tracks that like we just have that can go into different configurations as well. Field is now starting to roll off a pit road, so it means we're getting ever closer to the start of our second Miata race, or SM2 Miata race, 4th one of the day. We'll go through the starting grid here in just a few minutes. We'll start off by Kevin Lockridge, who picked up his first win of the season and first career win here at the Autobahn Country Club. He's now on the pole for the second race of the day. Kevin Lockridge is going to lead the field to green flag. Alongside him will be the number 225 of Emin Ryan, taking away his first career podium, I believe, of this afternoon. Sean Bonet, winner of race number 1 on the year, or winner of it, I would say race 2 on the year, looking for a second win of the season, is going to roll off in P3. He will finish the first race P4 this afternoon, but he's going to look to give more out of it today. He's going to look for a little bit better result. Jeff Newman going to roll off in the 4th spot today in the 229 car. Chris DeMuzio is going to roll off 5th inside of row number 3, along with Noel Lehman, who's also making his 3rd start, 3rd race. He's going to line up in the 4th spot. Noel Sachs will line up, roll off on the 6th spot. Noel Sachs will line up 7th with Emmett Ryan alongside him in the 8th position. John Milovic going to start off in the 9th position, and then we'll have Mark Stadolski, your point leader, who's going to round up 10. Now, Mark Stadolski, an interesting fact on him, he's going to have to start working his way up towards the front, similar to what he did in race number 1 earlier today. Stadolski, the current points leader right now over Kevin Lockridge, had lost some points to Kevin, knowing that he came away with the win. Stadolski going to have to do, again, another race of damage limitation here, Shelton.
Yeah, as we're approaching the 2nd pace lap, I can't wait for us to get started. Can you?
I will wait for it to get started after I go through the rest of the grid here, as we have the number we have the 008 of Norm Malter, who's going to line up in 11th. Gary Traverso will roll off in the 12th spot in the number 72 car. Gene Jodawain is going to roll off 13th with Bruce Malter in the 427 and 14th. And then we're going to have Eitan Quirin, who's going to go off 15th. Scott Benning Jr. in the 16th spot. And then Andre Van Buren will round up the field, rolling off and capping off our 17-car field. Pace car and the rest of the field going to get the 1-to-go signal this time by at the line. Field continue to warm up the tires, go side by weaving back and forth, trying to build up as much heat and temperature into those Hoosier tires as we roll on.
As the field comes around turn number 3, they should start getting lined up very shortly. That means tires should already be at a good enough temperature for them to get rolling, and they have to actually stop before the field lines up so they can stay in line.
One more late addition that's also been added to the field as well is Eric Gortner in the number 59 car. He's going to roll off from the tail end of the field. So Eric Gortner, last-minute entry, has been able to join us for this race. We're glad to have him along with us for the ride, too. Field now starting to double up, roll 2 by 2, side by side, as they come through turn number 6 and turn number 7, getting ready to take the green this time by.
Now, all right, these guys have went through the first race 2 hours ago. They know how the track is. They know it's a little bit better. So let's see if we can get a good, clean start off the line and see if we can take advantage of the weather that we have here now.
Like we've been talking about all afternoon long, the track has been getting better and better with every lap that's been put on there. Pace car now goes to the safety of pit lane and leads the field in the hands of Kevin Lockridge and Emin Ryan, who are going to pace this field 2 by 2, side by side, coming out of turn number 9, looking for the green for the second and final time this afternoon. Pace car on the pit road, field now slowly waiting for green. I see Noel Sachs potentially pulling out a line already. Green flag is out. We are back underway, and we are racing here for the second race of the Spec Miata 2 field. We're going to go 3 wide with Connor Ryan going right to the middle of Noel Sachs and Nolan Lehman. He makes it stick going through the 3 wide through the middle, and we go into turn number 1. Connor Ryan really trying to roll that outside now, trying to gain as much spots as he potentially can. Was able to fall in line behind Jeff Newman, and now he looks to the inside of him. And we'll also have now Kevin Lockridge, who's now been able to pace the field. He kind of pulls away to a half-second lead over Emin Ryan. And then we have Sean Bonet, who's been able to roll into the 3rd spot past Jeff Newman, though, as they go into turn number 6. Bonet now going to try to roll as best he can to get up to the back bumper. Emin Ryan trying to make up for lost ground. As we have Jeff Newman, who's going to go off the track. He's going to go into the tire barrier wall, just tap it a little bit into turn number 6. Going to try as best he can to keep it going if he can. We'll have to see if he's able to get it going now. He's able to find drive and able to kind of roll away, but he's got to find reverse to get out of there, though. Gene Jodawain going to go to the inside of Bruce Malter in the 427. Not going to be able to make it stick, though. He's going to fall back in line behind Bruce. Bruce will continue to hold that spot as the rest of the field comes around turn numbers 8 and 9 to complete the first lap. Kevin Lockridge over Emin Ryan 2-car breakaway now over Sean Bonet, who's going to get under pressure and under fight from Connor Ryan going into turn number 1. Ryan going to look now to the outside, and now we're going to have Noel Sachs potentially get into the fight as well. Connor Ryan going to look to the inside, and full course yellow is being displayed. We are under full course yellow now for the number 229 of Jeff Newman over in turn number 6 next to the outside retaining wall. Jeff Newman had a great run earlier this morning and was in a great podium position, has just kind of dropped the wheel going through turn number 6. Once you hit that patch of grass, Shelton, you're not stopping, ended up in the outside wall.
Yeah, you're going on a roller coaster ride. It's nothing you can do at that point. You're just a passenger. But as the field condenses itself and gets or reorganized, it seems like that we might have a round 2 between Kevin and Eamon.
We'll definitely have round 2 in that sense. So we'll be having another batch of restarts for sure. The rest of the back half of the field trying to sort themselves out here, it looks like. But we're also trying to figure out now what's going to happen here when we get back racing between Kevin Lockridge and Evan Ryan. Kevin did a great job on the initial start getting away, but also this is a saving grace a little bit from Sean Bonet in that 27 car. He was kind of under pressure from Connor Ryan, and Connor Ryan did a great job on the initial start, picking up about 2 or 3 different positions. But Connor Ryan has now kind of proven he's got himself a fast hot rod underneath that number 81 Wonder Bread machine as a kind of a little bit of a different, how should I say, it's a little remark off of Talladega Nights and Ricky Bobby.
Yo, shake and bake, baby. We just need an Old Spice livery now.
That's all we need is Old Spice, and we have shake and bake in that sense. But we'll see what happens here as we kind of get right back to go green once they get the mess cleared up over in turn number 6. Again, it was Jeff Newman. Kind of lost it on his own, it looked like, potentially. He looked like he just kind of lost it going into the corner. Don't know if he just dropped the wheel and was just kind of on the outside or just went in too hot. Had the rear end kind of step out on him, and then he kind of corrected and just went off the racetrack. Would have to get a replay on it potentially, or see how it looks here later on. But nonetheless, Jeff Newman was the cause of the incident. Kind of went off track there, off the driver's left of turn number 6, and then just went straight on, tapped the wall a little bit. The car looks like it was fine, at least from the vantage point that we had. It didn't look like there was any significant damage, but then again, we haven't gotten a little good look of the front of the car to really tell the tale. Although it looks like on the screen he has tried or made an attempt to move the vehicle a little bit under his own power before the safety team showed up. So seeing that he's able to move the vehicle, looks like that he should be okay to be able to continue in that sense.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to continue, but with him just starting to get back on track and then stopping, that could contribute to just all the cars just going off in just that one corner. So this definitely has been the problem corner of the day, and it's just been catching a lot of drivers off guard.
Well, that was one of the places that we talked about being very wet and very tricky, especially kind of coming through in the drivers' meeting that we talked about with all the drivers. So that part of the track still trying to dry up as much as we can. We also like to make an announcement for Shelby Club Group 2 members. This is your 5-minute call to grid. Shelby Club Group 2 members, this is your 5-minute call to grid on the South Circuit. But we also talked about, too, just the kind of grip level there. It's still trying to rubber in, and I feel like there's still maybe a little bit of weepers that are happening out there, or a little bit of just standing water in the sense that's kind of just making it very tricky for the drivers to kind of negotiate. As we see Jeff Newman be able to get towed back onto the main straight, onto the racetrack and racing surface, he's been unhooked, and he is on his way as well. So the rest of the field now is looking like it's kind of packing up a little bit. Potentially we might get the call to potentially go green this time by. Just waiting to see what's going to happen here as the safety team is now starting to clear the scene. Pace car really slowing down here, trying to kind of gather the field back up. I think we might be looking to be going green this time.
Yeah, I hope we're going green this time. I can't wait for us to see the SM2 race unfold officially after one lap. But the more laps that they have, the better this race is going to be, and the more interesting that this race is going to be. So this can go in anybody's hands, as we said before.
Lights are out on the pace car that we see there, so we are going to be getting the official word that we are going green this time. So our prayers have been answered in that sense. Pace car now continuing to starting to pull away at his 40 miles an hour pace. The field is now going to be falling into the hands of Kevin Lockridge. He's already been really good today. He's already led the first race from fly-to-fly coverage. He had fly-to-fly coverage on that. Can he do the exact same thing again? He's got 12 laps to go this time, and we can see Connor Ryan all over the back end of Sean Benet. Benet going to try to get all over the back end of Emin Ryan. He's in a Ryan sandwich right now, coming to the green flag here. Kevin Lockridge really going to hold him up. Green flag now flies. Emin Ryan going to try to pop out and make a move. Sean Benet going to get on the gas as well as Connor Ryan. And that's Bruce Moulter in the 426 making a huge move going down the inside. He's going to make up a couple of spots there going into one, it looks like. The rest of the field going to jostle for position. We're going to go side by side, 2 by 2 between the rest of the field as well on the back end. Going into the first couple of corners here, they'll hopefully sort themselves out as they come through turns number 2 and number 3 and 4. Top 5 have kind of sorted themselves out a little bit, single file through the top 5. Further back, it's a little bit of a hornet's nest back here as they make themselves through 4 and 5. Down the backstretch they go. One driver going to pop to the inside here. It's this red car, I believe. Looks like maybe Mark Stadolski going to go to the inside of the number 80, the number 72 or 170-67 of John Milovic looks like for the 6th spot. Everybody else now kind of trying to find a group as we see Emin Ryan, the 225, going to go side by side to the inside of Kevin Lockridge through turn number 7. Lockridge got now the inside for turn number 8 and 9. Not going to give it up very easily. And we see Bruce Moulter and Mark Stadolski going side by side through turn 8 and 9 as well. Down the French Railway, Sean Benet going to pop his nose to the inside. He's going to get in the fight. He may look to the inside. We might be going 3 wide across the start-finish line here. Lockridge has the advantage. Benet now going to fall in line in 2nd. Emmett Ryan and Connor Ryan now going to battle each other out for 3rd spot. Going into turn number 2, Benet going to give up the inside, allow Emmett Ryan to have space on the inside, but he gets the better drive out of the corner. That's going to bring Connor Ryan into the mix now. Connor Ryan and Emmett Ryan potentially going to go side by side. Emmett Ryan shuts the door on his brother Connor. Connor now falls back in line, going through turns 3, 4, 5, and 6 potentially around here in the corner. Rest of the field now still trying to kind of sort themselves out a little bit further back.
So we got a 5-way battle for first place, and it's very interesting now. We have a change of scenarios. Like first race, Kevin Lockridge and Emin Ryan were taking the field away, just gapping them. But now it's 5-way battle for first.
We just saw Emmett Ryan as well take over the 2nd spot over Sean Benet. So Benet going to fall back to the 3rd spot now. Connor Ryan is now trying to put any pressure on Sean Benet as well. But you also want to take into consideration one other car that's coming to the fight that we haven't really talked about all day, and that's the 211 to Noel Sachs. He looks to the inside of Connor Ryan, thinks better of it, will tuck back in line, but Noel Sachs has put in one of his better performances that we've seen throughout the course of today. Noel Sachs really coming into the fold here. He's really now starting to get a little racy against these guys. Has shown that he has the pace. He's put in, I'm going to say, the 3rd fastest lap of the race so far, with Kevin Lockridge just turning in his purple fastest lap of the race. Lockridge and Emmett Ryan now start to pull away, but it's a 3-car battle now for the 3rd spot on the podium between Sean Benet, Connor Ryan, and Noel Sachs. A little bit further back there, you see Mark Stadolski still trying to play recovery mode here. He's been able to pick up some spots here from the 10th spot, now up to the 6th, so a +4 position gain for Mark Stadolski. You also see further back, that's the 420 of Bruce Moulter. Moulter was quite far back from the starting position. He started 14th in this race, but has been able to make it all the way up to now the 7th spot. As we see Noel Sachs throws to the inside of Connor Ryan, almost gets past the number, almost goes side by side with Sean Benet in the 27, but he thinks better of it, lays off quite a bit, and now he'll give some time back up to Connor Ryan and Sean Benet down the front straightaway. Into turn number 1 now. It's Kevin Lockridge leading the way over Emmett Ryan. The battle for P3 rages on going into the corner. Connor Ryan really taking the nose and really taking a peek to the inside. Sean Benet really going to have to worry about his exit here as he's going to try the best he can to get the best exit possible. Connor Ryan, though, has position. He goes to the inside through turn number 3. He gets the spot. Connor Ryan now moves up to P3. Sean Benet going to 4, relegating back to 4th. Noel Sachs now trying to wait in the wings to capitalize on potential momentum shifts here. Right now, the rest of the field is moving away through turn number 6. You see Mark Sadolski changing up his line a little bit here. He goes really interesting line to the inside part of the racetrack here, but really you can try as much as you can to find out where the best grip is, I would say. Through turn number 7, Noel Sachs really trying to hold around the outside of Sean Bonet here, trying to see if it makes it stick. Not quite.
I think the field is all settled down now. They're getting to a little groove, a little rhythm. So I think everyone's just playing it safe, just to let these laps dwindle down. And then with, maybe 3 laps to go, that's when you will start seeing everyone make their moves.
Like we like to say, everyone's just kind of getting themselves in a little bit of a rhythm here. We're now just past the halfway point. Everyone's seeing the halfway flag being crossed up this time by. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th is continuing to rage on, and it is between the 27 of Jean Bonnet and the 211 of Noel Sachs in this case. These two guys haven't really raced each other very often, but are really getting to know each other quite well right now, I would say, on the racetrack in terms of each other's driving style with the amount of battling they've been having with each other going at it. Meanwhile, back up front, you just saw there, Emmett Ryan has really closed up the gap within 2.5 tenths of a second of Kevin Lockridge. Emmett Ryan just put in the fastest lap of the race. He's going to try to get the draft, try to pull to the inside. He's just trying to fill up the mirrors of Kevin Lockridge. We got a spinner coming out of turn number 6. That looks like it was the 427 of Bruce Malter just on the inside part of the racetrack. Kicks up some dirt and some grass, and now he goes into the grass trying to get the car to turn back around, trying to get himself back on the racetrack. Bruce Malter, who was running just in the 7th position after starting from 14th, made up half the places on the field and made up a lot of places on the restart, has now just let it all go away from him as he comes through turn number 6. So tough heartbreak for Bruce Malter in the case. And Sheldon, when you have something like this happen, when you losing in the middle of a race and you're having such a good run up at the front and it all just kind of falls away from you, it's got to be the toughest feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's the toughest feeling, especially when you just got shown the halfway flag. So you know you don't have that much laps left to do anything. So it's definitely very frustrating and very difficult to swallow in the process.
Tough break now for Bruce Malter as well, but he'll continue on his way, and we continue on with the race. Meanwhile, further up, the podium is starting to look like half of the Ryan show here as we have Emmett Ryan and Connor Ryan holding the 2nd and 3rd spot, but Kevin Lockridge keeping them all at bay just for now.
Kevin's going to want to try to keep that lead as much as he can, and he's not the fastest person on track, but he is a tenth slower off the fastest lap. So he's hanging in there. He's pushing as much as he can, and he just has to stay on the racing line and continue doing what he's doing.
The biggest thing I'm noticing right now that Kevin Lockridge has been doing is he's been prioritizing and focusing mainly on his exits. His mid-corner speed and entry speed may not be as good as his exit speed, but boy, his exit speed, he's really able to keep Emmett Ryan at bay, with Emmett Ryan once again turning another fastest lap of the race. So even with the car behind you turning the fastest laps of the race, he's still able to hold him at bay and keep him behind him as well. As we saw Noel Sachs go past the number 27 of Sean Bonet, so we'll move Noel Sachs up to the 4th spot. Sean Bonet starting to lose a little bit of positions there, starting from that 3rd spot right now. As we see a little bit further back, a battle with the double zeros here. It's the double 08 and the 007 going to battle, I should say. So that's Andre Van Buren and Norm Malter now going to battle as they went through turn number 5 or turn number 3 and into 4. The gap is once again extended a little bit from Kevin Lockridge over Emmett Ryan. And we talked about these guys. You know, Kevin Lockridge has done quite a bit of racing experience other than just Spec Miata racing here. Beforehand, before even joining the club, he's been able to do some shifter kart racing as well. He's driven shifter karts. He's done lots of karting as well. But not only that, but he's also getting experience not only in Spec Miata and go-karting, but also in the Radical sports cars too. So he's been driving the Radical sports cars quite a bit and has been having a lot of good success, I would say, in the Radical, based at least from my experience of what I've seen around here at the club. Sheldon, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's, like you said, his first year was last year, and one of the first cars that he bought was Radical. He didn't drive it that often last year. He didn't race it that often, but it definitely shows now that he has a lot of experience, just not in the Radical, but just in the Spec Miata, and that carries over.
with all that experience as well, he's kind of gotten now into a groove of how to finish well in the Spec Miata series, and now he's starting to get a groove on how it is to win here in the Spec Miata series. What a way it would be to cap off the day if he went 2 for 2, getting 2 wins on the dock and winning and leading both races, leading all the laps technically in SM2 throughout the course of the day. And he just now has almost completed the trifecta, as he just posted the fastest lap last time by. So now he's just got to hold on to that fastest lap and complete the next 3 laps here, coming to get 3 to go in order to complete the perfect day for Kevin Lockridge.
Yeah, Kevin has been having a really great day today. He just has to keep it up and keep a cool head, because he's doing everything that he needs to do.
Field now continuing to flash across the line here as they're getting the 3 to go. Mark Stadolski, we talked about him a little bit too. He was sitting in the 6th spot, damage limitation type of day for him as well. It's a kind of a day to where he just needs to kind of get as many points as he possibly can. He obviously doesn't have the car to be battling up front for the podium positions. Doesn't have a car obviously capable enough for the wins, but he's just got to try to keep as many podium positions and just get as many positions as possible to limit the amount of point loss that he potentially could be losing to Kevin. This is going to be a big points day for Kevin if he can keep it the way it's going right now. But Emmett Ryan not giving up at all. He's still feeling up the mirrors of Kevin Lockridge. Takes a peek now to the inside, going through turn number 7, just trying to fill up the mirrors. Gets a little sideways there off the exit of turn number 7. A little snap oversteer moment for Emmett Ryan, but able to hang on to it. But Kevin right now, he's just trying. He's feeling the pressure of Emmett Ryan, and for Kevin, you just got to keep your eyes forward and focus on hitting your marks and running your race. Right into turn number 1, both cars flashing going into the corner at roughly anywhere around 80 miles an hour. I'd say 70, 80 miles an hour into turn number 1. The rear end stability control needs to be at top peak minimal there, as you could easily lose the car going into 1, especially over that apex curve there. Going through turn number 7, we got some side-by-side action. That's Bruce Malter, looked like in the 427, and to 229 of Jeff Newman, I believe, going through. Like we said earlier, Newman had that incident that brought out the first yellow flag in the race as well. So he's kind of been, he's 2 laps down right now to the rest of the field. Actually, 3 laps down to the rest of the field. So Jeff Newman just trying to right now kind of bring the car home safe and just chalk it up as a learning experience, and now it turns into a testing day. 2 laps to go here as we are coming across now turn number 7 into turn number 8 and 9. Coming to get the white flag this time, it's Kevin Lockridge, who holds the lead over the 225 of Emmett Ryan. He's got one more chance here. He's going to get a good run out of turn number 9. White flag being displayed by flagman Chris. Coming to flashing across the line. Ryan's got a really good run here. He's just got to keep the momentum up. Maybe take a shot to the inside. Lockridge sideways going through turn number 1 there. Lost the rear end just a little bit. Gets a little wide here. Ryan going to potentially look to the inside. Lockridge, though, keeps the momentum up. Gets a decent enough run to hold the position. Going through turn number 3. Here they come to turn number 4 right now. Emmett Ryan just looking now for anything to away by.
It's about 1 mile left, and Kevin can't throw it away on this last lap. He has to keep his composure.
Emmett Ryan getting a really good run out of 5. He'll take the dive to the inside. Did he get too deep on the brakes? He makes the move. Lockridge maybe try for the cutback. Emmett Ryan gets the move. Lockridge, who's going to have the ponies underneath him? He goes really defensive here. Lockridge going to get a run. Is he going to be able to pop out to the outside? Is he going to go inside? Kevin's going to go to the inside. He's going to try to make the move. Really throws it deep into the corner. Ryan going really deep. Kind of loses it a little bit. Lockridge able to hold on to it. Gets it back. Emmett Ryan just a little bit deep. Emmett Ryan, that is, gets the run coming back to across the line. It's not going to be enough. Kevin Lockridge does the perfect trifecta. Gets the 2 race wins on the day. Leads all laps. Kevin Lockridge wins race number 2 in the SM2 class on a very exciting last lap finish. Coming across the line now to take the round out the podium. It's the younger brother of Connor Ryan that comes across the line with Noel Sachs coming home in 4th. Sean Bonet finishes the day out in the 5th spot. Mark Stadolski keeps on the championship fight, coming home in 6th. John Milovic going to finish home in 7th. Gary Traverso and Noel Lehman going to come across the line in 8th and 9th. And rounding out the top 10 as they come across the line is Gene Jonah Wayne in the number 66. Well, Sean, thoughts on the last lap there that we were able to witness?
Wow, just wow. wow from both of those drivers. They respected each other. They gave each other the room, but they fought each other very hard in the last lap, and Kevin just came out on top.
And just like the Indy 500 we saw 2 weeks ago, we had 2 lead changes on the last lap there, able to cap off the action-packed day of racing. Again, Kevin Lockridge comes home and takes home the win with Emmett Ryan coming home in second. Emmett Ryan comes home in third, I believe, instead of Connor Ryan in that sense. Noel Sachs comes home in fourth. Sean Bonet in fifth. Mark Stadolski in sixth. John Milovic finishes at home in seventh. Gary Traverso in eighth. Nolan Lehman in ninth. And Gene Jodowane rounds out the top 10 at the cap off our day of racing. We've had an exciting battle here towards the end, and it was just that last moment, I would say. You were going into the corner there. Emmett Ryan really tried it going on the inside there in turn number 6. Got the car slowed up enough to get the lead, but just didn't get the drive off. And kudos to Kevin Lockridge to kind of see that happen, worry about the exit, got the run he needed, popped it to the inside, just kind of gave himself enough room to make the corner on the inside. But also Emmett Ryan really trying his best to kind of hold it around the outside, but just unfortunately ran out of room there at the end.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Jordan. He just ran out of room. That's all we could say. You know, he done the best that he did, and hats off to him. Even though he had P2, he should definitely be proud of the performance that he did today.
Absolutely, very, very, very proud of the performance. He also did come away with the fastest lap of the day, so he did pull the perfect day away from Kevin Lockridge in that sense. But nonetheless, 2 podiums on the day for Emmett Ryan as well. So with that being in mind, you know, really action-packed day of racing, really awesome day that we were able to witness. And we thank all of you guys for joining us today. We were able to watch it on the broadcast. So please, if you enjoyed today's day of action and all the racing, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you can watch all the coverage of all the action and all the racing activities that happen all year long here at the Autobahn Country Club. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time on our future broadcast. And also be sure to tune in to our next special weekend, Festival of Speed, that's going to be happening in just a couple weeks' time. For my partner, Shelton Lewis, I'm Jordan Missick. We wish you guys a great day, and we bid you adieu. We'll see you next time.